Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well and revised the topic that we have discussed in our last class. Okay, so if you all have remembered, we have started the new chapter, that is water, and there we have discussed some of the introductory part of water. We have discussed why water is a compound, and also we have discussed that some of the characteristics of water. Okay, so today let us move on to the next topic, that is importance of water. Okay, already I said not only human being, but by the same time all the plants and animals, they have a very important part. Water plays a very important part in their life. Okay, so to sustain a life, water is very much essential. So if we will talk about a human body, then we can say a human body is composed of 60% of water. Okay, our body, 60% of our body is composed of water only. And if you will talk about the body of fish, it has about 65%. Okay, and if you will talk about plant body, then it is about 60%. So by this we can imagine that more than half of our body is composed of water. So water plays a very important role in our life and as well as in the lives of different animals and plants also. So to perform various activity in our day-to-day life, we need water. So let us discuss the importance of water in details. Means what all are the some of the processes or the activities that are needed in our day-to-day life, not only in our life but also for plants and for animals also. Okay, so let us discuss the importance of water point wise in details. So students, let us discuss the points one by one, and let us start with the first point. The first point is water is a good solvent. In our last video only we have discussed that water is a universal solvent, means it has the ability or it has the capacity to dissolve so many solutes in it. In our last discussion we have taken the example of salt and water. Salt is a solute and water is a solvent. So whenever we will add the salt in water, then we can find that salt will dissolve completely inside water. Okay, so here if we will talk about our body, so whenever we are taking food, if you all have remembered, we were discussed in our biology portion, we are discussing the digestive system. Okay, so whenever we are taking food, that food is in complex form, and that complex food will be digested in our stomach. Means that complex food, at first we will churn that food in our mouth, we are making it simple, then we will engulf that food, we are sending it to stomach, where it will be digested by the digestive juice we have discussed. Okay students, so whenever that complex food will convert into simple food, that food will release energy. We will discuss this part gradually in that digestive system part. So after digesting the food will generate energy, and not only that energy is limited to our stomach or limited to our liver, rather that energy will be distributed throughout our body. Okay, energy is generated by our digestive system, but from the digestive system the energy need to be transported to all our body. See, sometimes you may find your mother will say that you should take more leafy vegetables. Okay, in Oriya we are saying sago. Okay, we should take more leafy vegetables so that our hair growth will be more. So how, when we will take leafy vegetables, that protein content of that leafy vegetable will come to our hair. Okay, that here water plays an important role. So what water will do? Water will dissolve the energy produced, or it will dissolve all the proteins and carbohydrates or fats of the food, and it will send it throughout our body. So the important, or the things that are released by the digestion of food will be dissolved by water, and water only it will send all the nutrients. See, these dissolved nutrients are thus easily absorbed by the body. By what? Water. It can dissolve most mineral and nutrients present in our food. So water can dissolve the mineral and nutrients present in our food, and it can send it throughout our body. So it is advised to take more and more water, okay, so that all the things, all the mineral and nutrients that are present in our food should be well distributed throughout our body. So not only the mineral and nutrient, but also whenever we are taking food, means also we got some waste content from that food. So water also dissolve that waste content of the food, and that waste content will be removed from our body by means of urine or sweat. Okay, that's why again I am saying it is advised to take more and more water. So you can see here, water also dissolve waste material of the body, which are then removed by the kidney and the sweat, and as sweat by the skin. Okay, from the kidney the waste matter can be removed in the form of urine, and from the skin the waste matter can be removed in the form of sweat. Okay, so this is a important tendency of water, or an important factor of water that plays a very important role in our day-to-day life. Next, so here one fact also it is given. You can read out by your own and tell me what fact you got. Here the next one, water helps to maintain and regulate our body temperature. So students, here a very simple example we can take. During summers it is advised to take more and more water. Why? To regulate our body temperature. So during summer what happens in our surrounding? We can find more heating particles, or we can say there will be more hotness around us. So to maintain our body temperature, our body need to maintain its temperature. That's why we need to take more and more water, so that from the skin it will release sweat. All the excess of water that we will take during summers, that will be released as sweat from the skin, and that sweat only gives us a cooling effect. Okay, so we can see here, water helps to maintain and regulate the body temperature. The release of water from body in the form of sweat during summer cools down the body. Okay, that's why we need to take more and more water during summer, so that we can also sweat a lot, and the more we sweat, the more coolness of our body will be maintained. The next one, most of the plants and animals lives in water, and they are called aquatic animals or aquatic beings. Can you tell me some example of aquatic animals? We can take a fish, okay, various fishes, crocodiles, okay, some snakes, okay. Most animals, they use water as their ecosystem. And we can also take the example of some plants like water hyacinth, Vallisneria. Okay, so many examples. We will read details in gradually when we will move to some more chapters. There we will read. Okay, so here we can say is that water also plays very important role for some aquatic plants and animals. Next, water is required for the germination of seed. If you all have remembered, we have discussed the different parts of a seed. So what is the outermost coat of a seed? If you will take the example of a seed, then what will be the outermost coat of a seed? The seed coat. What we can say the outermost coat? Seed coat. So whenever we will place a seed inside soil and we will apply water, or when the seed will gain water, then what will happen? The seed coat will burst. Why the seed coat will burst? Because the seed will absorb more and more water and it will swell. You can take the example when you will soak the dry peas and if you will leave it for sometimes, or if you will leave it overnight, then the next morning you can find all the dry peas, they will swell up and the outermost seed coat will burst. And when the seed coat will burst, the plumule and radicals will come out. We have discussed it already in our biology portion. Okay, this is only germination. So we can say water also plays a very important role in germination of seed. Next, water is also required for the green plants for the process of photosynthesis. You know already from the lower class, you all are, I think, well acquainted with the term photosynthesis. Plant need carbon dioxide, sunlight, water, and in the presence of chlorophyll pigment, they will prepare food. This is only the process of photosynthesis, and water plays a very important role for photosynthesis. Now I am not going in details for photosynthesis. Gradually we will discuss about that. Next, food items, especially fruits and vegetables, contains a large proportion of water. Any fruits and vegetables we can take, it contains more and more amount of water, and some fruits and vegetable contains very high amount of water. We can take the example of watermelon. So watermelon is a fruit that has around 90 to 95% water in it. So whenever we are taking the fruits and vegetables, indirectly we are taking water, and that's why we should not prefer the junk foods. Rather we should take more and more amount of fruits and vegetables, so that we can take more amount of water to our body. And already we have discussed how water is very important whenever we are taking food. It also plays a very important role in our body. Okay, next, water acts as a medium of transport, okay, of minerals and nutrients between different parts of plant. This point in details we will discuss in your higher class, how water plays a very important role in transport of mineral and nutrients. Water, plant when absorb the mineral and nutrient from the soil, water plays a very important role to transport that mineral and water from root up to the leaf. And again, when in leaf, whenever we will talk about a plant, in its leaf the foods are produced, and from the root it will absorb the mineral water. So mineral and water will transport up, and the food that is prepared by the leaf will be transport down and upward also. So this movement of food and mineral and water takes place easily by the help of water. More about this point we will discuss later on. Next, water is required in various industries. Okay, not only in our body we will require water, in several industries like paper, textile, or so many construction industries also, they need water. Water is a medium of transport. It is a very easy point. Water is an important medium for the transport of ship and boat. So we can travel from one place to another place, or several goods, or we can say the boats that are needed for transporting different materials for industries. They need water as a medium for transport. Next, water is required for agriculture. It is also very well known topic to you. I think in your geography chapter you all have done this one. Okay, water is very important for irrigation, or to for the agricultural crops. Okay, so as we have discussed how water is very essential for plants, so we can also say that for agriculture water is playing a very important role. Okay, and all about details you will read in your geography part. Next, water is used to generate electricity in dams. Okay, so how water, you might have heard about Hirakud Dam. Okay, if we will discuss about the generation of electricity, let me tell you this point in details. Okay, so students, let us discuss that point in details. Okay, so whenever we are talking about the generation of electricity from water, we have to take some of the energy. Okay, we have to first know about some of the energy. What all are the energy about? We have to know about potential energy. Okay, we have to know about kinetic energy, mechanical energy, and electrical energy. So in the process of generating electricity from water, all these energies plays a very important role. So let us discuss it. Okay, so here by showing you in a diagrammatic form, I am discussing this point. So whenever electricity is generated in the hydroelectric power plants, like just before I said in Hirakud Dam, so they are at first they are placing water at a height. Okay, the first work is to store water at a height, and when water will be stationary, it will acquire the what energy? Potential energy. So remember, whenever an object is stationary, it will acquire the potential energy. Take an example of yourself. If you will be constant at a place, then at that time you are acquiring the potential energy, and after that when you will start running, then you will acquire the kinetic energy. So here, when water is placed at a height and it will be stationary, it will be constant, it is not moving because it is bounded with a boundary. So here it is acquiring the potential energy. Down there will be one turbine. Okay, down there will be one turbine. So these are the fans of the turbine, and this turbine is connected with a generator. Okay, this turbine will be connected with the generator. So whenever they want to produce electricity, the stored water will be allowed to fall on the turbine at a very high speed. They will allow, as I said, it will be at a height. Okay, these water, they will store this water at a height. So whenever they will allow the water to fall on the turbine from a height, then this potential energy, now it will convert into kinetic energy. As I said, when a body will move or when an object will move, then it will acquire kinetic energy. When it will be constant, it will acquire potential energy. So the potential energy of water, in turn, it will convert into kinetic energy. And when this water will fall on the turbine, this kinetic energy will be converted into mechanical energy. Okay, which will make the fans of the turbine to move in a very high speed. Okay, whenever water will fall in a high speed over the turbine, the kinetic energy will convert into mechanical energy, and this mechanical energy will help the fans of the turbine to rotate or to move in a very high speed. And as I said, this turbine will be connected to the generator, and this generator, now it will convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy. Okay, so like this we can gain, or like this electricity can be produced by using water in hydroelectric power plants. Okay, so here just remember about these points, and this topic in short only I have explained. This explanation is not given in your book, but you should know it. That's why I have explained. So at first water will be in its potential energy form, then it will convert to kinetic energy, then to mechanical energy, and at last to electrical energy. Okay, so this is how electricity can be generated from the hydroelectric, generated from the water in hydroelectric power plants. Okay, so this is all about this point. Now let us see the next point. Next point, what is that? Water is required for daily uses such as drinking, bathing, washing, cooking, and watering plants. This is a very important or very simple point in a day-to-day life, like drinking, washing, and watering plants. We need water. Okay, so water plays a very important role in our day-to-day life. We have discussed so many points that how water is important for us. Again, go through this point again by your own. You just see, don't only just learn all that point. Already I have discussed all the points in details. Okay, so I hope you will not have any doubt in any of the point. If any doubt, again you can ask me. Okay, I will clarify your doubts. So in our next class we will move on to the next topic of water. It is a very important chapter, so do not skip the points, do not forget to revise the topics that we have discussed. So till then, take care and see you up in the next class. Thank you.